Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for tuning into the always informative, always entertaining, the Boxing Authorities. Joining me at the desk, as always, Mr. Luther Dupree Jr., Mr. Smokin' Jim Frazier, and my name is Claudio Relsano. Luther, Artur Beterbiev, now he's on a streak of 19 consecutive wins, 19 consecutive knockouts against Anthony Yarde. It's all yours.
Listen, I told you this guy was a beast, a caveman. People like Smokin' Jim got to start giving him his credit, finally. This fight went exactly the way I thought it would. Anthony Yarde showed a lot of heart. He gave everything. But when you don't spar, you have limited training, you don't have the skills, you're going to get KO'd. You can't stand in front of a beast, a monster, and take shots. Beterbiev, he's like Earl Spence. You know, it's not a one punch, but he does stuff that hurts you. You know, the body shots. He goes to the head, he goes to the body, and he just broke him down. Yarde, you know, they had to throw in the towel before he ended his life in that ring. I think it was a great stoppage by his corner. Hopefully he doesn't fire him. Maybe he should, because I think Yarde should be doing a lot more. He's more athletic. You can't stand in front of him. You got to use your athleticism and try to move away. Nobody in the sport can stand in front of this guy and take that type of punishment. He's very underrated, very skilled. I would love to see Bivol and him get it on. I don't know why that's not happening. They're talking about a Caleb Smith next. I don't want to see it. I want to see Bivol. But he showed heart. Yarde has a lot of heart. He has power and he has athleticism. But I think skill level.
I'm sorry, who did you say was underrated?
Bivol.
Beterbiev. Okay.
Because a lot of people like Smokin' Jim don't have him very high on the pound-for-pound list. And I think that's wrong. All he does is win, and he hurts people. Nobody's the same, just like Earl Spence. When they fight him, he breaks something in you. He's that good. I'm very impressed with him.
Jim, do you think Beterbiev could play for the Maulers?
Well, I gotta agree with Luther. He does remind me a lot of Spence, because Spence will be 38 like him before Spence fights somebody we want him to fight.
What are you talking about?
Listen, listen, there's so many flaws that got exposed in this.
What got exposed?
First of all, the guy keeps his left hand down too low. He got nailed plenty of times with the right hand. A counterpuncher like Canelo will eat him
Canelo
up
would
alive.
never fight him.
Hey, listen, this guy from the London Yards, listen, he remind me of Philadelphia fighter. The post-fight press conference, he was so happy. You think he won? All he is looking for is recognition. Yarde got all the talent in the world, but he don't have the intestinal fortitude for the fight. He had him hurt, wouldn't go after him. And after the fight, he was just so happy. You know what I mean? I'm like, I got to start rating my Philly fighters again. Bougie Enos and Danny Garcia and Meek Mills. I mean, Yarde, he act like one of the Philly fighters. He was happy.
He left it all in the ring, Jim. He left it. Did he not leave it all in the ring? He just got beat by a superior boxer.
He left his balls in the ring. He could have won the fight, Lou.
There was no way.
That man's 38 years old.
There was no way he was winning that fight. The skill level.
He's a young 38.
He's a young 38. But when Muhammad Ali got beat by Burfict,
he was an old 38.
And
he has a lot of wars.
I told y'all, Ali looked good to me.
Against who?
Or when Joe Louis got knocked out by Marciano at 37, guys like Luther, he was 70. Now this guy's a young 38. Come on.
This guy's special. Put some respect on his name. Yeah. Yarde showed a lot of heart. When you talk about, come on, you can't say intestinal. He wanted to keep going. His corner stopped it. He took a lot of punishment. He gave out what he could, but he was in against a guy.
A couple things Luther hit on the head. Number one, Yarde's an athlete. Don't fight. Don't stand there against Beterbiev. Get the hell out of the way. Move. Okay. That's why, again, I bring him up almost every Sugar Ray Leonard would have dominated Beterbiev. Why? He would have dominated him because he'd have moved. And he'd stick, jab, moved. He would not. Hagler, maybe not. But Hagler would have maybe caught him. But Yarde should have moved. I don't know. Well, yeah, but still.
But that's
you know what I'm trying to say?
I agree, but that's not. I don't know what the training. He doesn't spar. I heard
Right,
his trainer say they don't spar.
That's another thing.
He doesn't use
why,
the gifts
Luther?
that he has.
Who doesn't spar?
Yarde, his trainer, said they don't do a lot of sparring. And it's obvious. That's why he fades late in fights.
Right. Now,
every time.
He
Br-
got
now
he got
another
3
thing
losses.
you said,
He
broke
got
him
3
down.
losses.
He broke him down. 19. If a non-boxing authority would say 19 wins, 19 knockouts, this guy's like a clubber, like Tyson won. No, but like you said, broke him down. And you know those things that you punch with the guy. You know it's got the. It seems like you hit the body and you hit the head and you hit the rib, you hit the arm. That's what he does.
Systematically breaks
right.
you down.
He,
I mean,
he
it's
hit
just-
everywhere. Now, not dropping names, but a friend of the show, Jerry Cooney, spoke with him yesterday, who's going to be on the show. He asked to be on the show again, but he was talking about the fight, and he said Beterbiev kept going right, and he kept getting hit with lefts. Why wouldn't you his trainers, don't go that way, because you're getting caught? Because Yard caught him a few times.
Yeah, and Yard, I've never seen Beterbiev going back.
Right.
That was the first time
and he
ever.
got marked up
He
a
was
little
hurt.
bit.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
But he didn't have to do that. I mean,
He
just
didn't have to get hurt.
No.
I
He didn't have to be so easy to hit. Now, somebody.
Yard has that power, man. We've seen Beterbiev. He got dropped before. We've seen him get hit before.
And Bevel will probably beat him.
Well, Bevel doesn't have the power that Yard does,
Right.
but he has the
Oh,
boxing
my
skills. He has the boxing skills to make a
I
problem
didn't
for
say
anyone.
he was going to knock him out. I said he beat him.
There's a chance.
Now,
But
before
that
we
needs to
go on
happen.
with the next move for Beterbiev, a lot of people are saying because of Yard's performance, and he's not an old guy by no means, he still has a shot for a title. Your thoughts on that?
Maybe if he gets another trainer, start using his skills. But standing in front of these
agree.
big punchers, no, you're just going to take a beating. And his stamina, we've seen in 2 of his losses against Sergey Kovalov, he faded at the end, had him hurt, but his stamina issues. And then in this fight, he had Beterbiev going back, had him hurt, stamina, couldn't take the punishment.
Jim, but if that's the case, like Luther said, why wouldn't the trainers fix it? Or even the fighter himself?
Well, Yard has a better chance of pushing Mahomes out of bounds late in the game than he ever have of winning the title, man. He just don't have it. He's a Philadelphia fighter from London. He just wants to be nationally known. And he's a celebrity now. That's all he cares about. He'll never win the championship.
So physically, you don't think he has? Or is
He
it more
has it
mental?
all. He just ain't got it here.
Oh, he showed me a lot of heart. I don't know what you were talking about. He took some vicious shots and tried to keep coming. He showed heart to me.
He never backed off.
He
Look,
could
now
hit
Joe
that-
Smith.
he could hit
Joe
that
Smith
slow
couldn't.
guy with any
Joe
time he wanted
Smith
to.
couldn't last 2 rounds. He went 8 rounds with a complete
Joe Smith
martial.
ain't got no talent. This guy
No
got talent. He
Well,
ain't got the
that
heart.
talent put a man out of the ring before.
Yeah,
Didn't he put
but
Bernard
Bernard
Hopkins out of the
Hopkins
ring?
A Philadelphia
A
fighter.
Philadelphia fighter.
Next, you kind of already
I
said
want
it.
Bivol. It has to
Period,
happen.
end of
but-
story.
Period. But it looks like it's going to be Caleb Smith.
Ah,
I don't
I
want to
like
see
that.
that fight.
I like that.
Yeah, we saw
I-
Caleb Smith quit against Canelo. I don't see him doing anything.
I
against
think
the
you're right
monster.
because they said, we want Bivol, but whenever they do that but, that means that there's going to be a side thing.
Side of the street, Bivol's on the zone, and
That
we
ain't
know
had
it's.
nothing to do with
Yeah,
it.
it does.
Everybody
It does.
everybody
Bob
wants the
Arum
cash
said
cow.
that. Bob Arum
Everybody
said that.
wants
But
the
Bivol
cash
won't be
cow.
the cash cow?
No,
Who's
the
the
cash
cash-
cow is Canelo. Everybody
But
wants the cash
Canelo
cow.
ain't fighting anybody.
Canelo's
He's
not
gonna
going to fight
fight
Alder
somebody.
Beterbiev. He's going
gonna fight
to
somebody.
fight John Ryder. We already know that.
which you
I
called-
called that
when
over a
did you
year
call
ago.
that?
I caught that over a year ago.
and he earned it.
With five losses.
And
That's
he-
a horrible.
No, you got to give. Wait a minute. We gave you credit for what the Frazier one. I looked up the Frazier thing, and you were right with the Joe Frazier with the one. What was the other thing you said that I apologize? Oh, Vinny Paz with his dad with the pitchfork. You're gonna give him credit. He did
I
call
give you credit.
like way over a year ago before it happened, and you're right.
And I caught Crawford fighting Rocha, if you remember. I said
Yeah,
that
you
was
don't
going to be his next fight.
We'll remember that.
You don't know who the hell Roach is. You think Freddie
He
Roach?
just fought this. He just fought this weekend. Alex Rocha, who's with Golden Boy. Said
I
that
think
over
it
a year.
has to be Bivol. And right now, and one thing too, what the hell's his name? Beterbiev got hit more this time. It seems like every fight
I
he's
seen
getting hit a
one
little bit
fight.
more.
He had blood running down.
Yeah, that,
his
yeah,
face.
yeah,
but
that was against the
you're
Brown
38.
fight. Marcus Brown
no.
fight, he got cut.
Yeah, right. What is he? 38.
38.
38.
He's 38.
Okay. He's a young 38, but he's starting to get there.
Yeah.
He's starting to get like Tank
Somebody's-
Davis on the other end of the, on the other side of the hill.
Now, we're seeing a lot of breakdown and a lot of slippage
Right.
because we've never seen him going backwards. We've never
Right.
seen him actually hurt.
I've seen
This
one
would-
also
this would be-
fight one.
Okay, flaws. Every fighter
Right,
has
everybody has
flaws,
flaws.
but we've seen him get hurt.
Not every
We've seen him
fighter
go
is that
backwards.
slow and keep
Okay,
his left hand
but
down.
are you going to make
A lot of fighters
now's
keep
the
their left
time-
hand down now, Jim.
Now's the time that like me and you were talking before the show about my tryout. I didn't do well my last tryout. Sugar Leonard said I picked a bad day to have a bad day. I picked a bad day to have a bad day. If Beterbiev keeps fighting, I'm sorry, who did you say he's going to predict?
Caleb Smith.
Smith,
Yeah.
and all these. Each time he fights, his athletic ability is going to go down. And he's not going to make that much money against Smith. Against Bivol, he's going to make a lot. So
Is
There's
it?
no money.
that's the biggest fight for him, besides Canelo.
Canelo's the biggest fight.
Yeah, but
Money's
Canelo,
for
you can't wait
Canelo.
for him. My point is, let's get this done now before I start to go on the other end.
you
Let me
think
fight
it-
Bivol because I can still beat him.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta
But
have the
Canelo might have
dance
saw
for it.
something like, oh, he's slipping. Maybe now I
True.
can slide in.
True,
Well, Canelo
very
seen
true.
what I've seen
Who'd
all
you say
along.
that about? Who'd you say that about last fight? He fought somebody, didn't look at great, and now you said now people are going to want him. He
Oh,
won the
okay.
fight.
Boots. Was it Boots Enos?
Bougie.
That was somebody else.
Yeah,
That's
it
somebody
was
else.
bougie.
You
It
said
was
about a couple,
bougie.
but you make
Oh,
a
okay.
good point. Right now,
Sometimes that
Beterbiev,
works.
the monster. I don't want to fight him. Wait a minute. Like when Sugar Ray saw Hagler against John the Beast Mugabe.
No, it was Duran. Sugar just lies, and y'all just.
I'm just
feed
telling you
it
what
up.
he said. Okay, listen, you
we-
believe
we
me.
heard what Sugar
He
Ray
was
said,
at
Jim.
ringside, and he said when John the Beast Mugabe, who was very good and
was
tough,
very
he said,
good.
"I saw some holes that I could that Mugabe couldn't get, but I can," and that's when he pressed the
Sugar
fight.
Ray seen Durant go toe to toe with Hagler, and that's when he said. That's when he made the decision. But he lied to the public.
But
like
Sugar
he
Ray
all-
was
like
not that
all
kind of
phonies
fighter.
do.
But Sugar Ray wasn't a banger. He wasn't going to stay toe to toe with
No,
Durant.
but
never-
Durant was outboxing him, and Sugar knew he could outbox Hagler. Who would see the Beast Mugabe that could knock anybody out go toe to toe with Hagler and want to fight? Either one of them monsters. You see, he ain't go after the Beast, did he?
He didn't need to.
He didn't need to. He wanted the big money. He was picking his. He
boy
was
could
cherry
hit.
picking, but the right guys.
I don't call that
You know what I'm
cherry
trying to
picking.
say?
He was
Well, you're
picking the money guys.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I
He
know
was
what you
picking
mean.
the right guys. He picked Hagler, then he picked Donnie was a big
Right,
fight, and so on and
right.
so forth. All right. So you were happy with Beterbiev's performance, or you give Yard a little more credit?
Well,
What?
Yard actually did better than I thought. I thought he was going to get completely dominated. He showed heart. He did have Beterbiev moving backwards, and he hurt him a few times. But Beterbiev, he has more skills. He goes to the body, and he hurts people.
But I'm with you. He could have fought a different fight, Yard.
But I don't know if he.
Last-
I don't think he's training to, because every fight he's
this is
in
your
there
job.
toe to toe.
Yeah.
you know.
You're
but
not a banger like
but
that.
again, these UK trainers don't teach a lot of moving.
Did-
they don't teach a lot of
Did
movement.
Sugar Ray pick Peebo Bryson to be a surrogate father? I'm just wondering.
What other boxing show brings up Peebo Bryson? I guarantee you none of them do. Guarantee you. Your thoughts, and again, final thoughts on Beterbiev. Do you think he's going to fight Bivol next, and who would you take?
Well, first of
I'm
all,
gonna ask you that, too.
again, I know the prophet is sitting over there, but listen, I've been saying all along the cash cow is Canelo. I've seen flaws in Slobovites better behave.
He's confusing
I-
people, Luther.
right?
Leave him alone.
Listen, the guy's slow. The guy has flaws. He got a lot of power, but Canelo's a counterpuncher. He eat him up. Bivol would be a tough fight for him.
Okay.
If I'm Bivol and I'm better behave, I would wait. I would continue to fight guys who are available, the Smith and those type of guys. But I would be, in the back of my mind, I'm trying to set myself in a situation where I can retire with a Canelo fight.
All right,
And that's
big
what
money.
Bivol's waiting on.
Okay.
And they're not going to fight each other. There's no money there.
And we got to tighten up I know all three of us got our predictions right on this. We picked Beterbiev.
Oh, I'm running away with it.
No, I'm right behind. I only picked
got-
one wrong. That was
No,
Vianello.
you
That was
picked-
it.
No, you picked the other one wrong too.
You
What's the
said
other
Shaw. You got two. You
Yeah,
picked
you
Shaw.
picked Shaw.
You didn't pick
I did. Again,
No, you didn't pick F.A.
Did I?
Shaw, yeah.
You picked Shaw like me. Those are only two losses we have. You're not running away
Now,
with
if I
it.
wasn't
Well,
Italian,
I'm-
would
I'm
you
too
say I
old.
was right or wrong?
Two. Pardon me?
If I wasn't Italian, would you
Oh,
say?
man, come on,
Okay,
man.
now, real quick, Beterbiev or Bivol? Right now, who do you pick?
Right now, I'm not picking against the monster. I'm going with an order, order.
Me too.
That
Right
was
now.
quick. Yeah, about two white guys. That was quick.
Okay, the
19.
Boxing Authority news. Okay, Anthony Joshua. It was all kind of different people he was going to fight, and he chooses a guy who
love it.
lost his last
I
fight.
love it.
Against Dan, against
White.
Dubois, not
No,
Dubois,
no,
White.
White,
Dillian White.
Dillian
yeah.
White.
Okay, who I thought Jermaine Franklin did pretty good against
He did
them.
all right,
and
but
some people say it was a draw or whatever. But this is, I know what you're going to say to me. In my opinion, this is like the perfect fight for Anthony Joshua because he needs to have not just win. He can't make it a split decision. He's going to have to beat either unanimous decision from corner to post or a knockout against Jermaine Franklin, who's 21-1 and 14 on April 1st at the O2 Arena in London. And as Luther always says, they're going to pack the place. And Jim always says there's a bigger place than just the United States. This is going to be a big.
They're going to get some of that
fight.
Beyonce money over there.
Oh, man, big time money. Luther, your thoughts on
Listen,
this
man,
fight?
it's a
Do you like the fight? And obviously you're going to pick AJ.
You know, it's a setup fight for AJ
Right.
to look good. You know, I think, as I told you before, AJ's finished. I don't think his heart's in it. I see a lot of flaws. I think his confidence is gone. He's broken mentally, Jim. And I told you that he wasn't the guy years ago. You kept hyping him up, saying the next Ali, he's the greatest thing, and I told you were wrong.
Hall of
And I'm right
Famer.
again, and you're
Boxing-
wrong.
boxing
There's a
Hall
lot
of
of guys
Famer,
Hall
like
of
you
Famer.
said.
But listen, he was
Which
moved
I
a
don't
certain
think he's a
way,
Hall of Famer.
and he's getting exposed. But Franklin, he could have easily won that Dillian White fight, and he could easily win this one. But he's not going to. Anthony Joshua, I don't think he knocks him out, but I think he gets a 12-round decision. Nice payday for Franklin. Not a fight I'm really interested in now.
Smoking.
Well, I tell you what, you guys are missing the boat on Franklin. I tell you what, he's an American fighter. He's a two-time Golden Glove national champion. This is a guy that's being moved the right way. He's just in there with the true monster. I think that Anthony Joshua.
What monster?
I think he's going to stop him. He was undefeated before he fought Dillian White. This is what I like. There's two things I like about Jermaine Franklin. One is initials, JF. The other one I
Jim
like
Frazier.
about him is he has a history of fighting people in their own backyard and beating
losing.
them. He only lost one time. All his fights been pretty much in other people's.
point.
And that's the way that Joe Louis got famous. Joe Louis would fight you in your own hometown, and your fans became his fans.
Excuse me.
But what I don't like about Franklin, and I think he's going to get punished by Anthony Joshua, he got a foul mouth. And I don't believe
Oh,
in
here
foul
you go.
mouth.
Reverend
I don't
Jim
believe
is
in
back out here.
dropping
Reverend
F-bombs.
Jim.
I don't believe in dropping F-bombs at a press conference. If
It's
you
a
can't-
fight, Jim.
If you can't
It's not a
control
church
yourself
service.
at a press conference, don't show up. There's kids watching. Be professional. You're a professional boxer. Be professional. If you can't be dropping F-bombs and stuff like that. And I think that Anthony Joshua is going to make him pay for every one of them
Wait,
F-bombs.
let me ask you, who says the word pimp and balls every 5
Right.
minutes on the show?
Jim finds morality in certain aspects that other ones he's dropping. Come on,
I
Jim,
think
all over
AJ's
the
in a
place.
very precarious, precarious means
Break it down for Jim.
spot. Number one, I think, like you said, mentally, he's got some confidence issues.
done.
I think he has to blow him out within 4 or 5 rounds, because if it goes 12, unless he just gets him from pillar to post and dominates it and has, a unanimous decision. But even then, they're going to say he couldn't knock this guy out. How tall is AJ? He looks like a Greek god.
Yeah.
He's got to, in my opinion, he has to knock Franklin out within 4 rounds, blast him out of the water. Because if not, they're going to really question him. Now, and he'll question himself. But I think if he does win this fight, he's talking about,
Fury or
Wilder,
Wilder.
Fury,
He's not
and
fighting those
Usyk.
guys.
And I don't
Usyk's
think.
not going to happen again. But here's my
Oh,
thing.
right, yeah, right.
Who is his trainer now? We saw he was with Derrick James. He left Garcia. That was a disaster. He
Yeah,
looked horrible
who's
under
the new
Garcia,
guy?
but it looked like it was Derrick James, the last thing I saw.
Okay.
Spence and Charlo's trainer. He was working out with them.
Rashir Aduba is available.
But
I don't
obviously,
think that's just when you keep searching for trainer after trainer.
Keep going till you get it right.
Okay.
well, but all
I
three of
don't
us
see it.
obviously think AJ's going
AJ's
to
gonna
win.
win this one.
But okay, give me a. You said unanimous
I
decision.
see. I don't see AJ knocking him out.
I'm going to say he has to knock him out. Jim Valverde used to say, "Never. You don't want to play a team with a cause." AJ has a cause, not just to win, but he has to blow him out of the water. I'm going to say a KO in 5. Jim.
Well, Usyk could knock out Jermaine Franklin if he fought him. I don't think Fury would knock him out before 8.
You just making this up, Jim?
But
Wilder would.
No, Wilder maybe.
And he's a nice fighter. He's not a bum.
So I
he's
don't think
I don't think he has the power.
longest
at
we
the
know
heavyweight
Anthony
division
Joshua
to hurt
has.
these guys.
We know Anthony Joshua.
Jermaine Franklin.
Okay.
We know Anthony Joshua has power. He don't
Yeah.
have anything to prove there. All he has to do is win the fight by unanimous decision or a knockout.
But you don't think the boxing media will say
No.
he should have blew him out of the water?
No. They can say they're critics. Nobody's ever erected a statue to a critic.
All right. Tim Zhu.
A 6-foot
Is-
statue to somebody in
He's taller than the statue, right? He's
You gotta-
taller than the statue. Name me
you're
another,
hating- you're
name me
hating
another
the man.
I'm
statue.
just saying.
Oh, with a statue. Come on, we're not going to do this.
Name me a
You're
statue.
insane,
Hey,
Jim.
name me a statue that the guy is bigger than the statue.
Huh?
Name me a statue that the person is bigger than the statue.
Wilder. It's
Right,
only
besides
Wilder.
that one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, Tim Zhu, 21.
Lucifer.
21-0 with 15 knockouts, was supposed to fight Charlo. Charlo's hurt. Now he's going to face a very tough, in my opinion, 29-3-1, 21 knockouts, Tony Harrison for the WBO Junior Middle Interim belt, March 12th. Luther, your thoughts on that fight?
Very interesting fight. Tony Harrison, a master boxer. We saw what he did to Garcia in his last fight. Now, my question is he more focused on his career or Alicia Baumgartner's career? She has a fight this weekend, and then he's coming up and he's going to be fighting Tim Zhu in his home country. We know he can do it. We know he has skills. I thought he was going to fight Fundora for a minute, but he jumped in when Charlo pulled out. Only thing I have is his stamina issues. Late in fights, sometimes he gets unfocused, and that's where he's gotten his losses.
There you go.
I don't know if he can get a decision in Tim Zhu's hometown. That's my thing. I kind of think I'm leaning towards Tim Zhu
Where's his
with a
hometown
decision.
at? Where's his hometown at?
Not here. Not here, Jim. I'm going to give you a map, Jim. But I think I got Tim Zhu in
Okay.
this right now. As it gets closer, I may change, but I got to see how Harrison looks because he's put in so much work with Alicia.
Sure.
I'm not sure how much training he's, I don't know. I got Tim Zhu right now in a unanimous decision.
Smoking?
Who's he fighting?
Tim
Tim
Zhu's
Zhu.
fighting Tony Harrison.
Oh, what an easy fight.
For who?
Him and his daddy could beat Tony Harrison. Hey,
Jim,
listen.
he loves slandering these
Wait,
guys,
wait.
man.
Who do you like? Yeah, Harrison.
No, I like Tim Zhu.
You love slandering these
Hey,
guys.
listen,
Easy
man.
fight. Yeah, Tim Zhu's a monster. Tim Zhu's tough.
Hey, the first thing I would do is I would suspend both the Charlo brothers. They hold up boxing.
Oh,
You
Jim,
know what
well,
I mean?
we're not talking about the Charlo brothers.
Yes, we are.
No, we're
Because
not. We're
due
talking
to
about
an
Tim Zhu. Can we get to this?
Foot injury, he can't fight.
Hand
But,
injury.
I love this Tim Zhu, boy. I tell you, that's his dad. Chip off the old block
He's not
like
his
his
dad.
dad.
He's not his dad.
I'm going to go opposite of both you. I'm going with Tony Harrison, veteran. I get what Luther's saying about you didn't say stamina issues. You said focus issues, okay? I'm going to go with Tony Harrison because when I saw him at his best, what he did to Charlo, the second fight, no, I give Charlo more credit than I give
think he lost
Harrison.
the first Charlo fight, really. I didn't. agree with
I
the
thought
judges
Harrison
on that.
won. He is getting older, but I think he has one more hurrah left in him, and I think this is it.
Ooh.
Now, if he's going to fight Charlo next, I think this is his last big win. But I got Tony Harrison in this win.
Did you pick Tony Harrison?
No, I said Tim Zhu.
Oh, okay.
Zhu.
You
David
didn't say it with your chest.
Oh, I say everything with my chest, Jim.
David Benavidez, 26-0, 23 knockouts, will finally fight Caleb Plant, 22-1, 13 KOs on March 25th at the MGM Vegas. Luther, quickly, your thoughts on the fight. First, we're glad it's going to happen.
Yes, it's 2 years too late. They should have fought when David Benavidez had the WBC and Caleb Plant had the IBF, but at least we're getting a fight. No belts on the line. I'm excited about this fight. You know how I feel about David Benavidez, the Mexican monster. Nobody can stand toe-to-toe with him. And Caleb Plant, I've always been a big fan. Great story. He can move. You can't even hit him in the ring, and now he's with Breadman. He's showing power. Now all of a sudden he has one-punch knockout power working with his new trainer, Breadman. But the Mexican monster is just unstoppable. I think it's going to go kind of like the Canelo fight, where Caleb Plant is going to be dominating early, showing his boxing skills. But then, after a while, you can't move, taking his punishment. Powerful left. He puts boys to sleep. Night. Left hand, look at the hand speed. Big, powerful. throws punches in combinations.
Hand speed.
Hey, he throws a lot of good punches, Jim, and they're powerful. Everything he throws, he hits hard. Look at that, body shots, head shots. He's a monster. I got Mexican Monster stopping him in 9. Great fight up until then, but you could only take so much punishment so long. Look at the body work.
Short,
Head,
and
look
look
at that, short,
hand
quick.
speed.
Knock
You
the
didn't
man
think that
out
was
the
good
ring,
hand speed?
Jim.
You didn't think that left, right?
Look at this, Jim. Slow motion even looks fast. Look at that left, Jim. Just destroys guys. Referee saved this man's life. David Benavidez, the Mexican Monster, I got him, let me say 9 rounds. Because I think Caleb Plant is going to run out of stamina. Caleb wants a bigger ring so he can run around, but there's only so much running you can do when you got a monster.
Has anybody ever seen him skip rope?
Jim, your thoughts on the fight
Well,
and prediction? Even though we'll talk about it, it gets closer.
well, first of all, we got 2 guys that'll never get a bell again. Is this a 10-round or a 12-round?
Eight.
Round.
No.
Hey, listen. We have 2 fighters that both got garbage mouths.
here you go.
I've
English
heard,
teacher here.
I've heard
Come on,
zero buzz about this fight, and it's only a month or so away. Like Luther said, this fight should have happened a few months ago before Benavidez was 3 pounds over the white fight limit and got stripped from his title. But listen, I'm interested in this fight because these guys are fighting each other on their level, a non-championship
Jim,
level.
please.
And
Both of them are
I'm
former
interested
both
in
of them
that.
are former
Everybody
champions.
can't be champ. Like I said, they'll
And
never have
David
another one.
Benavidez never lost it in the ring. He lost it for outside the
Why would
ring.
he do it?
Nobody ever
Discipline.
beat him.
Nobody ever
Lack
beat
of
him in the
discipline.
ring.
No, he got beat by his demons.
He didn't get beat by anyone. He lost it because of weight, and I think the scale was wrong.
This fight reminds me of a fight of the 70s where guys fought each other who didn't have belts because they wanted that title shot.
And why is it a 4-belt? Because Canelo's holding
Yeah,
all
he
these
got 'em
belts
all.
hostage,
Right.
and both of these guys are high ranked and should be fighting them.
Well,
That's the
before-
only reason.
Before Claudio makes his prediction, I wanted to ask both of you guys this question. What I would be interested in, and the people that I'm around, the boxing authority people that I'm around, the historians.
those
I
they
hang
all
around a
got
lot of-
CTE
I hang
too?
around a lot of historians. They all want to see Better Behave and Benavidez.
Benavidez,
Yeah.
Jim,
Against
man,
Artur Beterbiev.
Yeah,
Jim has
when
trouble
you like to
pronouncing
see
those
that?
B words.
Well, I want to see him get the belts in the super middle first.
He's never going to get that.
But he's
He
going to get
got-
the light heavies?
He's already 3 pounds over 168. He's light heavy
Jim,
now.
he's still
When you-
in his
guys
20s.
don't
He
wanna
has
see-
time to move up,
You
Jim.
guys don't want to see that fight?
I want to see him like we said about Canelo. Dominate your division, then move on. He's going light heavyweight.
Maybe I wasn't clear. I'm just asking, would you like to see that fight?
Eventually.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure,
I
not
like
next.
seeing it.
I want Plant. The winner of Plant, Benavidez to fight Canelo.
Supposedly, but Canelo's not going to fight Benavidez.
That's what I'd like.
Benavidez
I would like to
wins.
see Benavidez.
And then move
Canelo
up,
first.
and then try to get the 175 titles from Bivol, who he sparred, and he better behave.
Now you talked about Breadman. You know, the one he found his new power and all that. I think that's going to hurt him in this fight against Benavidez. You don't stand there. What do they used to say? Don't hook with a hooker. You don't want to slug.
He's not going to stand there, it's Claudio.
No,
Against
right,
the
good,
rail, he wasn't,
good.
he
Move,
wasn't
right,
standing there. He was moving
right.
and cutting.
Then if he
coming
does
in.
that and he tries that, what did I say again for the zillionth time? Lennox Lewis against Tua. You have to be tired physically, but also mentally. Make sure you don't get caught with the shot. The 2 times Lennox Lewis got knocked out, he kind of slipped mentally. He got caught. End of story. Now Benavidez has that kind of power. If he boxes, he goes in as a boxer. Don't go in and slug. Say to yourself, this is going to be a 12-round fight. I'm going to out-decision him, outpoint him. And Benavidez may try to go for the knockout and maybe swing a little wild, and Plant is quick enough and athletic enough to avoid punches. He has to go, and the ring being bigger, I think, is a great move. You do not want to slug with a slugger. You don't want to hook with a hooker. Go in there as a boxer. When, and this may sound stupid, when Sugar Ray one time, I forgot who he fought. Maybe it was Duran. He went with black shoes and the black trunks,
Yeah, that's
and he was
the
thinking
second
slugger.
round fight.
Well, okay, but to me, he should go like Muhammad with think speed, boxer, pretty tassels.
In
Don't
all
go in
white.
there.
Yeah, in all white.
Look like
Yeah,
a
that's what
don't.
Duran beat the heck out of him.
Yeah, he did. That's true. So
There
you
you
proved me
go.
wrong on that one. But he fought the wrong fight. You know what I'm trying to say, Luther?
He fought the
Go
only
in there
fight
with the
Duran
dress.
would allow him to fight.
What's that?
He fought the only fight Duran would allow him to fight.
Nah, I'm
there
sure
you
Gray
go,
messed up.
Jim.
You understand what I'm trying to say?
I know what
Go in
you're
with the
saying.
attitude, the tassels, being pretty, be a boxer, be quick. Maybe do a bolo and hit him with a left, but
We
get
know-
the
we
hell
know-
out
yeah,
of the
we
way.
know how Caleb Plant moves. I mean,
Right.
he's out there
So-
moving. You can't hit him.
Frustrate Benavidez and make him turn into a slugger, lose that compact punch that he has, and make him behind in the fight. So he has to go for a knockout, and Caleb Plant get the hell out of the way. If he stands there,
You
he
sound like you might be picking Plant.
no, I'm going to do what you said. If he does what I say, he might. But I'm going with you, exactly with you. He's going to look good for a lot of rounds until he says to himself, "You know what? I'm landing. I'm going to throw a bigger punch, and he's going to get caught." I'm exactly with you.
Luther only likes playing because he got a beard.
Well, but
I like his skill, I like his trash talk.
I like
and
everything about
I
him.
like his celebrations when he knocks people out. What he was doing with
Yeah.
the
Do you like his belt? Oh, he ain't got one.
But I think he can win the fight
Yeah.
if he does consistently for 12 rounds, tries to outbox him. Don't even think about a big punch. Land a lot of punches, confuse Benavidez. But having said that, I don't think he's going to. He's going to do the same thing with Benavidez as he did Canelo. I'm exactly with you. Okay, finally, a couple things. I'm sorry.
Contenders.
What's that?
Contenders.
No.
Former champions.
Well, they're contenders because he won't fight him.
Both champions, Jim.
be a
You're
new
wrong. They're
series
both champions,
of
Jim.
What was your
Contender.
prediction? What was your prediction?
You ain't make one. He all playing in
You
fence.
gotta make
This
one.
is what I'm saying. This is how, and he go to lie and say, "Well, I picked so and so."
I gotta make it now.
We
Yes.
broke it down.
I got
Why?
one.
But go ahead.
Make a decision, Jim, because you
I
slandered
was,
both of them.
who'd you pick?
I pick Benavidez
Who'd you
unless
pick?
he
The
fights the
Mexican
right
monster.
fight.
Since I'm
Unless he fights the right fight.
winning by landslide, I'm gonna go with Benavidez.
You got 2 matches on this, Jim.
All right.
You're gonna lose that in a week.
Oscar De La Hoya says he is working small details right now for Tank versus Garcia for April 15th. And he is talking trilogy. And hell, the first fight hasn't even happened yet. Luther, I know you had a lot to say about
Listen,
this.
man. All right. So Oscar's out in the news. Yeah, he was at the Rocha fight talking about signing Bud. I don't think this fight is going to happen. He's had the contract for over a month. They're sitting taking pictures of the contract. Nothing with his pen signing the contract. I don't think it happens. Oscar knows that Ryan is not ready for a Tank Davis. I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, there's too many games. Make the fight. Make the fight.
I said it from the beginning. Like you picked Ryder, I said from the beginning, this fight will not happen because I think the Davis team, I'm sorry, the
Ryan
Ryan Garcia
team.
team is going to say, we bring too much to the table. I want, and it's going to be an excuse because I know, look, you know if you can win the fight or not. I don't think he's confident just yet that he can beat Tank Davis, and he's going to do all kind of excuses, and it's not going to happen.
And we've seen him pull out of Tank fights before. This
not
is
gonna
about the
happen.
third time.
And they
they've
announced
tried
this last year that it was going to happen April 15th. What the hell's a holdup? And you didn't believe it from day one.
Who you picking?
What, in that fight? Oh, Tank Davis is going to knock him out.
I picked Tank.
Now, is this Garcia from Mexico or from
Ryan
the Dominican
Garcia.
or from the
Ryan.
Dominican
Ryan
Republic?
Garcia. Ryan Garcia, because you
you
mixed
had
him
me
up.
confused last week.
You mixed him up.
You had me confused.
Just because of the last
All
name.
right,
You swore.
listen. Again, this would be a bad move for
For
Tank
Ryan.
to fight Ryan Garcia. He's on a whole nother level, and if he
Who
fight
has he beat, Jim?
if he fight him, he'll beat Tank. And if he fights him, it's the same thing Tank was saying about Cassius Clay before he fought Sonny Liston.
Oh,
Who'd
don't
he
compare
beat?
those two.
Yeah,
he beat the
but
Bear.
Clay dominated.
Who?
Okay, Cassius Clay,
When-
dominated this
when he
week.
got
Oh,
knocked
Henry
out by
Cooper.
Henry Cooper. Yeah, dominated.
He got
And
caught.
Garcia got dropped
But
by
what did he do?
pillow-fisted
What
Luke
did
Campbell.
Cassius Clay do to him? They cut the hell out of him. That was a famous picture.
Yeah, that's when after Angelo Dundee cut the gloves, split the gloves to give him more time.
think he's making that
Put the
story.
marbles together. But the smartest thing Cassius Clay did back then, he allowed his older brother to be his driver, his chauffeur. Hey, listen. All
Boy,
I'm saying is
Smokepedia.
this: if I don't know where they're coming up with the trilogy. but this would be a bad move. He will be like the St. Valentine's Day Massacre if they fight in April. I'm telling you, he would make Tank quit in there if they fight in April. The best thing for Tank is either not to fight him or fight him later on in the year. He fight him in April, it's going to be bad.
I think Garcia has some skills, but there's a lot of holes, little things, but there's a lot of little things that could end up big things. Tank, I don't know. I don't think he's anywhere near the peak. Oh, hell no, I don't think so.
He's starting to roll.
You make it sound like he's
He's
42. He's going for a payday.
Tank is at the top of his game.
He's Mike Tyson in 1990.
Oh, here we go with that.
Just say Mike Tyson, period. He's a new version of Mike Tyson, the way he's knocking guys out, has the celebrities, has the crowd, breaking arenas. This guy's box office smoking, Jim.
I hope
That's
the fight
why Ryan
happens.
wants it.
I'm not totally sure.
Right now,
I don't think it's going to.
Right now, Tank and Tyson's wearing an ankle bracelet from what I hear.
And finally, Jake Paul, 6-0, will fight Tommy Fury, 8-0 in Saudi Arabia in February 26th. Luther.
Order drug testing in this because, he's fighting a Fury. There's been rumors about Jake Paul. I'm not impressed with Tommy Fury at all. He, the boxing skills didn't transfer, but I'm sure the PEDs did transfer. I'm going to go with Jake Paul in Saudi Arabia. Tyson Fury said if he loses, he's not coming back to the house. I'm going with Jake Paul. Jake Paul is going to beat this Fury, I think, in dominant fashion. I was not impressed with Fury. I saw a lot of holes, and he's going to let a YouTube star beat him.
Smoking Jim.
I'll tell you what, I'm predicting the future champion. Remember when Spatafor and Rayco War Saunders had the little kids fighting, and we predicted, we unsuccessfully predicted a future champs for them. But I'm predicting the future champ. Tyson Fury broke in on Jake Paul's press conference, one of his press conferences, and he had his kids. And one of his kids gave Jake Paul a fist bump. And the other kid wouldn't. I said, that's going to be a champion. I like him. He's like, no, you ain't beating up my uncle and getting no fist pump. But I'm nervous about this fight because Tommy Fury is an experienced boxer. I like what Jake Paul's been doing for boxing. I'm pulling for him. I'm going to predict Jake Paul wins, but I'm very nervous about this. I think
you're the most nervous boxing analyst I've seen. You're always nervous. I'm nervous.
I don't care about. I have zero interest in this fight. But Luther had said this before about certain fighters, and he said about Jake Paul. He wouldn't fight him unless what?
He knew he could beat him.
We saw
some flaws the last time, and I think
Jake You'll see more flaws this fight. Okay, but Jake, like to repeat, Luther said if he wouldn't have chosen him if
he's picking the right guy, he's moving the right way.
This year we took a page from Lou. We taking all the front runners, ain't we?
Let's see if you all had that streak. I had 43 wins and only 7 losses.
Well, I'm 3-0.
Yeah, you got a long way to go.
Okay. All right, when we come back, the Tyson Fury series, we had him against Rocky, against Ali, against Holyfield. Now we're going to have him against Lennox Lewis when we come back to the Boxing Authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities. Tyson Fury, Lennox Lewis.
Oh, man. Lennox Lewis? Come on, Lennox Lewis is one of the most underrated heavyweights of all time. I love him.
Clapping, you don't like him.
You hate him, Jim. Listen, I just think he has the size that can compete with Fury. He had the heart. Nobody ever, when he got caught, it was a one-punch flash knockdown. It was because he really wasn't taking the opponent seriously. We saw a grown man make another man cry in the ring.
Oliver
McCall, family member. Shannon Briggs.
I watched that fight. And Shannon did pretty good.
Taking punishment?
Well, he was doing all right.
Yeah, he did real good getting knocked down, Jim. Getting punished on the ring, blasted all around. He showed a great heart, but, that chin was tested, and he just took a beating. That hair just flying around, man. Some guys, when you're getting beat like that, having the lock just flying.
Makes it worse.
But Lennox Lewis, man, he had the box haircut hair. He was just a monster, man. I think he would. Look at Frank Bruno. He loved destroying these UK guys, man. And I think Fury would be another one. The way Wilder had him laying out, I could see Lennox Lewis doing the same thing. I got Lennox Lewis beating and stopping Tyson Fury in 10 rounds.
Smoking.
Well, I mean, Luther said it all, man. One thing, very underrated fighter. He had all the things that you look for in the fighter. Olympic pedigree, Olympic gold medalist. Yeah. I tell you what, man, Lennox Lewis and Joe Louis were two of the greatest heavyweights of all time. But you don't want to walk around bare feet. when both of them had glass in their chin. You know what I mean?
That's good, Jim. That was good.
Hey, listen.
You had me there for a second. I didn't get it.
I didn't know where you were going, but
That was good.
If you retire in your prime because you know you can't beat the Klitschko brothers.
He beat them, though.
Yeah, he beat the worst one.
He was 38 years old,
He beat
Jim.
the worst one. Yeah, the same age is Better Behave.
He had a lot more wars.
If you couldn't beat them, you know you can't beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury would have dominated Lennox Lewis. You know, it's almost like down the road, Rocky seen.
There we go. More fake news.
You know what I mean? Sometimes
more fake news.
All that leading wasn't going to work with Lennox Lewis. All this holding and grabbing.
Lennox Lewis is one of the few fighters I think that could have fought in any era.
True. Look, all this head locking, hitting behind the head. Come on,
now, don't
man.
forget now, just to play devil's advocate, Lennox did have issues with bigger guys like Klitschko, okay, guys his size, but I'd have a hard time saying, and I'm not ripping on Fury.
Look at the head behind the head. Oh,
because I think Fury's good, and Klitschko didn't do a damn thing in this fight.
No, that was one of the worst fights
nothing.
I've ever seen in my
Okay,
life.
so we can't even talk about that fight. Can you do it? I just can't go against Lennox. Lennox came in shape. Lennox was a serious fighter. He had talent. He could box. He was your perfect boxer puncher. He wasn't a slugger. He wasn't a boxer. He was a boxer puncher. He could hurt you with shots, and he was a good finisher. I said Sugar Ray Leonard was the greatest. Rocky was a great finisher, but Lennox is up there as far as finishing a fight. Tyson was a great finisher, but he's 0-4 now. I got no. Did I have him beating Evander?
I know he's 0-4 for me. I had Ali. Yeah. Rocky and Evander, and now Lennox Lewis.
I think he's 0-4 for me because
he's undefeated for me.
Of course, fanboys.
All right. Well, when we come back, our popular segment, Boxing Mailbag. So come back to the Boxing Authorities. Welcome back to the Boxing Authorities, our popular segment mailbag. Continue to send your great questions and comments to boxingmailbag@yahoo.com or at my website at claudioreelsano.com. Okay, Ramon from New York City sends us a lot of stuff. Thank you, all three of us. Which sport has the best young potential stars? Basketball, football, baseball, or boxing?
Ooh, that's a great question. Right now, I would say basketball right now has the best young stars because they're marketing them already. You look at the All-Star game, they have so many guys, Luka, Donovan Mitchell, under 25 that are already stars, own sneaker lines. I would say basketball, and it's universal, in my opinion.
Smoking?
I would say basketball because of my godson, Jalen Hood-Schifino, who just put up 20 points in the first half over the weekend. I just think that the basketball players are the best athletes. And I just think that now that you're getting these...
Define athlete, because I've seen basketball players, with the exception of Michael Jordan, who didn't make it all the way but had a nice swing. I look at a guy who can do all the sports and look good at it. I've seen a lot of basketball players cannot throw a baseball or hit a baseball.
Well, not too many people can do that, although I see a lot of people doing it. But when you got 48-inch vertical jump, and when you
that's why I said defined.
When you can throw a ball and you catch a ball with one hand and slam dunk it. I mean, they're just freaky athletes. Okay. Now, whether they can play baseball or not, no, or soccer, no. Okay. But that's a skilled sport, baseball.
I wish I could say baseball, but it's not. Baseball does not have the best young guys coming up. I would definitely say basketball, with the football coming close second. And boxing, boxing is getting a lot of nice young fighters, but we have to see them fight more often. But nonetheless, I'm going to go with basketball. Okay, all three. Debbie from Pittsburgh, who had the better 2022? Female boxing or male boxing?
Oh, female boxing. I mean, they broke records. We had Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, Clarissa Shields. I mean, you got to go with female boxing. It's on fire. the best it's ever been. Female boxing is on fire. We're getting the best fighting the best. The men need to take a page from female
And
boxing.
you hit it on the head, smoking.
Male boxers.
Male.
Oh,
Of
okay,
course.
name me a fight that the girls didn't fight. You said, damn, I wish they'd have fought.
Everybody fight everybody.
Do we have
Jim.
to do that
We
male?
got 20 fights that we wanted the men to fight, Jim.
Right, exactly. So definitely, Debbie.
That's some
female.
what do they call it? Male.
The chauvinist.
Yeah, chauvinist.
Chauvinist.
Yeah,
All right.
Jill.
All right. Well, as always, we hope you enjoy our show as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Boxing Authorities.